deserve to be in God's family, but you belong. And that's something that young Bible college students, you don't deserve to be in the greatest learning institute in the history of mankind, in my eyes. And of course, I'm quite biased being a proud graduate of Maryland Bible College and Seminary, but excuse me. But you know what? You belong here. You belong here because you are his workmanship. And God has an incredible plan. Pastor Schaller and I have been friends a long time, since '87 when he was one of my teachers. And he didn't give me good grades because I was a work of grace back then. But eventually I kind of got into discipline and started getting better grades. But and then I had no idea God wanted to use me as an evangelist like he has the last 32 years. But and I'm sure he had no idea he'd be this amazing pastor of a worldwide ministry. Because I know people that they say, man, Pastor Schaller, he's out there every Saturday. And I said, well, it's even more than just one day a week. He's not just a one day a work soul winner, one day a week soul winner. I said, well, that's because Doc Stevens taught us if the pastor doesn't win the lost, the people aren't going to do it, right? Why would we do it if the pastor says win the lost and then he's sitting in the fellowship hall eating hamburgers and french fries? But that's not what Doc Stevens did, and that's just not, well, I don't know, I've seen him eat hamburgers and french fries once in a while. But after he wins the lost, after he shared the gospel to as many as he can. But that's, a lot of people say he's the head of a worldwide ministry. And he's out there, he says, most local pastors don't even do that. And he's the head of this big worldwide ministry, and they're very impressed. And I said, well, that's why I do what I do, because of his example, because of Doc Stevens' example, and many others from here. But we're a workmanship. It's all grace. And when we fail, hey, go to the throne of grace and say, God, I blew it. And then just keep going forward. Don't quit. Have some G-U-T-Z. Isn't that what Doc Stevens used to say? Get some guts. G-U-T-Z. He wasn't great at spelling, yes. But you know what? You're a workmanship, and don't ever quit, because it's all grace. And that's what all of Ephesians 2 says. And if I may, 30 more seconds. Carry on? Thank you, my master. I'm just a Padawan learner, like it says in Star Wars. But verse 13. We who were once afar off are made near by the blood of Christ. Isn't that beautiful? We're made near, but not by what we do, not by what anybody does for us or to us, by his blood. And that the whole chapter is just an amazing chapter. Commit it to memory and just read it often, because it's just a blessing to me. It's an amazing, amazing chapter. One of the great ones in the Bible, and there are quite a few of those, obviously. But you're on.
Okay. Yes, okay. Regarding the message last night about, in Italy, they were singing in the square, and maybe we could think of that in a light way, like they were just having a good time, and it was a very simple thing. But nobody really knew that somebody would be there in the square in a crisis, and that it spoke to them. And they met, and Pastor Mati spent time and talked to that person. I love those conversations. Have you had any where you just had a person that was very much like needing what you had to say? They really were listening to what you had to say. What you had to say was important to them, and there was a real connection. How many of you have had that in your life? You've had some of those talks. Aren't they great? They're like very good. And so we have what we could call as pre-salvation period, a time when God is preparing somebody to listen or to. So here, when Zacchaeus was in the tree in Luke 18, He is up in the tree. He wanted to see Jesus coming by. Do you think there was pre-salvation work that was going on in his heart? Right, Pam? Yeah. That's why he got in the tree, because there was some pre-salvation work that was going on. That's what. Where else do you see that happening in the Scripture, like pre-salvation work? The woman that touched the hem of his garment, yeah, huh? Woman at the well, yeah, probably. Peter at the baptism of Jesus, there was a dove that came down, the voice from heaven. Maybe that went into Peter's heart, and he goes up fishing, and later Jesus comes by. Okay, so have you met people that it looks like there's no pre-salvation work going on in their life when you meet them? Huh? We don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, right? But anyway, there are people that have no interest, have no capacity. So in Luke 8, with the sowing of the seed, do you remember the 4 different categories? Would you turn there with me? Luke chapter 4. So, so good to have Donnie Fisher with us. How long are you going to be with us, Don? Till Monday. Great. Good to have you here. Thank you for coming. Luke 8, we have verse 12. Then by the wayside are they that hear, then comes the devil and takes away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. So I don't think we would ever understand how this is, that the devil actually takes it away, unless it would be written there. Like, why did that person hear it and then it never had any effect? It never worked. It never got planted in their hearts, but the devil took it away. Doesn't it say that? Like the devil came and took it away. Wow. That's something you would never know about that, but I take that very literally, that happens with a certain percentage of the population, that they don't even have any recollection, they have definitely no interest, and there's no effect of the word in their life. Like they could get, a Billy Graham, the Billy Graham classics. Have you seen, Chris, on your phone? Yeah, Billy Graham classics. Like 50,000 people, 70,000 people listening. And to think that at the same time in the city, there are people there that it has no effect on them. They're just might be in the meeting, but then it doesn't affect them at all. It's just gone, as if it never happened. Yeah. The next one, verse 13, they on the rock are they which when they hear receive the word with joy, and these have no root, which for a while believe, and in time of temptation fall away. So in my mind, the key there is that they hear there is joy. There is joy. It is a novelty, maybe. Has anybody ever bought something, like you bought something and it was really a joy to buy it, and you enjoyed it, like you got it and you brought it home? Well, give me some examples. Go ahead, Addie. Go ahead. What? A gun? A Nerf gun. Oh, okay. Wow. A Nerf gun. She was very happy she bought a Nerf gun. What? Okay, that's good. All right, so Ramin? Oh, a real gun, a shotgun. Okay. You buy a pair of shoes, a piece of clothing, you buy a car, and you actually have joy with that thing, and so on. And then it kind of goes away. After a while, it kind of goes away. Okay. You could hear the gospel and kind of it's a novelty, or you get excited about it, you have joy, but there's no root. Now, what does that mean? There's no roots in your heart, no roots of the word or the message. What does that mean in your mind? What? There's emotional, but there's no roots. No what? No conviction. What else, Chris? Okay, you have idols in your heart, so then when you receive this, there's no. I kind of think of there's no pain, no price to pay, no digging in, like no roots. You don't pay anything for it. When something is free, it's like free. But when you have to pay for it, it kind of bites into your life. Like, you mean I got to really pay for that? I've got to really buy a ticket. Like if it was free, then it'd be easy to go or not to go. But I got to pay for that. How about lifting weights? Anybody lift weights? Addie, do you lift weights? How about the guy? You tried. Okay. How about Chris? Okay. Exercise, biting in, going to school. You pay tuition. You go to school. You're going to fail. I don't want to fail. I've got to study. So there's biting in a price you pay. And when you hear the gospel, it's going to challenge your lifestyle and your ideology in life. Like, are you important or is God important? Well, God is. I don't want that. I am important. I want it my way. I'm not paying any price. I'm not paying it. It's not going to cost me anything. I'm not paying for it. Yeah. So that's why the word was there with joy, but then no roots, and then it died away. It didn't work. So it raises some questions about bringing the gospel to people, because like a lot of times we want to sell it by the grace message. We want to sell it by, it's easy, it's not religion, it's a relationship. We want to say, just say the prayer, just say the prayer. But then the person is like, do they understand what they're doing? And also, does it mean something to them? And are they willing to realize, is there a conviction there? And do they know what they're doing or what it means? And it might be they could just say the prayer, but because there's no roots, it doesn't produce anything. Because they're not willing to give up their own life or their own lifestyle, or they just are, just like floating along on the surface. So that means, as an evangelist, as a Christian who evangelizes, that means that it takes some prayer, understanding, and ministry to people to help them understand. And of course, I don't think we can do it. We cannot produce in their heart what's needed for this seed to grow. That's like pre-salvation work. And also, are they ready to hear it? But when I give the message, I want to make it clear to them that, I'm not joking around. Like, I'd like you to receive Christ. This is a big thing. This isn't a joke. This isn't just like an easy thing. This is something serious. This is God. God speaking to you. And we want you to accept God and believe in Him. Is that correct? Well, what do you think, Pam?
I've been reading a book which has got me thinking about this.
Okay.
And
Yes.
So he said, rather than just trying to get somebody to receive Christ, present the Christ in such a way that they actually want to surrender their lives. Because it's like you're saying, is that just to say, yes, Jesus, come into my heart. It's not the same as really making him like he's the Lord, he's
Yes.
God, and
Okay.
kind of surrendering to him.
Okay.
How you do that.
For the internet, here is Pam Hattrick is talking about John 1:12. To as many as received him, that's like one part of it. But then the person also needs to realize who they are receiving, and that they would actually be putting their trust in him. And that means that we try to lead them in such a way. But I would say sometimes we think when we lead Christ, some people to Christ, we're thinking of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then it's over and it's done. But I think that the purpose of the church is that not only would they receive and believe, but there would actually be the understanding, more understanding that would come to their heart and their mind. And they would maybe, 1 month later realize, oh, like this is, oh, I see, this is that Jesus saved me, or, oh, yes, I do realize that, this is a great gift given to me, like, oh, I see, this is grace, or, like 1 year later, oh, I like to be here, or I like to be in the church, So this is, something that is ongoing. And as an evangelist or someone who would like to lead somebody to Jesus, then I would like the follow-up. And that's the blessing of church life, because then they have a place to go and have a church life, and then also be studying and learning about what it means. Okay, the third one is in chapter 8, verse 14. And that which fell among thorns are they which, when they have heard, go forth and are choked with cares and riches and pleasures of this life. All right, let's have fun here now for a minute before we finish. What's a care? What's a care? An anxiety, okay. That's the word, right? Anxiety. Okay, give me an example. Jen has no idea of what anxiety is. None. Okay, what do you know? What? Anxiety. Worry, isn't it a worry? Give me an example. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to get cancer. My car is going to break down. I'm going to have trouble in my life. I have worries. All right, next word is what? What chokes out you? Riches. Give me an example. Another one. Jen knows a lot about this category. Riches. Yeah, having 2 houses, 3 houses, 5 houses, wealthy people, riches, have a lot of money. The Wall Street, investment, the policies, the investments, the stocks, the cash, the money, the flow, employees, businesses, riches will choke out the word of God. Will people get occupied with cares and then riches? And the third one is, this is one that, what's that? Okay, not having it is like, yes, not having it is like cares maybe. And the third word is pleasures. Does anybody have any idea what that means? Fish, pleasures. Football. Pleasures. But ice cream, Snurf gun, pleasures. What? Hand cream. No, I don't know. Pleasures. Okay, we're being silly, but why not if we're having a fun time? We're looking at the scripture. Golf, okay. What chokes out the word? Three things we said. Cares, riches, pleasures. Has anybody in this room ever sensed that happening with your life? I have. I have. And we don't have a lot, but we do have a lot of things that we can worry about. We have a lot of things to do. We have a lot of places to go to. We have a lot to buy. We have a lot to sell. We have a lot going on in life. People are going to school. They are raising families. They are buying things, selling things, marrying, giving in marriage. Remember the time of Noah? Remember the whole thing about buying and selling and marriage and funerals and all kinds of things in life that people get occupied with. And what does it do? It chokes out. So let's go to the opposite. Instead of those things choking out the word, Addie came here from India, and she has kind of a simple life, right? Right, it's kind of a simple life. She's not distracted because she's not in her home country. Well, it's like different. I have the library, I have my room, I have my simple life, and that's a blessing. That's a blessing for us because we can pay attention to learning this. And actually that word takes root in your heart and it doesn't get choked out. It's like a way of life. It's like amazing. And then when stuff accumulates, you might filter it out and say, I'm too busy. I'm too busy, it's choking out, or I'm too busy, I don't want to. I like it when my life is simple. I like it when I can stay focused. I like it when my life is simple. Isn't that good? It's something that, the fourth one is, where is it? Verse 15. But that on the good ground are they which in an honest and good heart. Question. Who in this room has an honest and good heart? Okay, we all know Addie's the only one. Like Jesus is the one who has an honest and good heart. Like Jesus is the one. And he gave us an honest and good heart. I don't think I had one before I was born again. I don't think I had an honest and good heart before I was born again. I'm told I had a deceitful heart, right? And we could call good bad and bad good, like the Democratic. I'm sorry. Why did I say that? I violated the rules. I didn't say that. I retract it. Hey, listen. You should understand what the party is saying. You vote not by personality, you vote by the platform of the party. I had to throw that in there. But let's say honest and good heart. I don't have an honest and good heart until I am born again. And then God gives it to us. And then that heart receives the word and bears fruit. Some 30, some 60, some 100-fold. And that's to the glory of God. And then you live your life, and then your neighbor will say, how do you live that life? How did that happen? And you would say, there's no explanation except the grace of God did that. Is that good? I think so. No flesh will glory in his presence. Nobody has done this great work of grace in your life and in mine except Jesus has done that. Amen. Have a good one.